is Sara Nelms. Hope you guys are having a great day. Maybe some of you know me from my music, and I do have a lot of videos on this channel, but I'm going to start doing some different kinds of things on here because I became a mom last year. So I'm going to talk about the challenges and the exciting parts of being a mom and a musician. So today I have some tips on how to balance those things. To me, it is just really super important to raise my child knowing that she can do whatever she wants to do if she works hard. And I want her to know that her parents work hard, and my husband and I are both musicians. And I want her to know that you don't have to stop following your passions just because you became a parent. Yes, some of the chapters might have closed. You might not be hanging out like you used to do, and your career might look different than it used to, but a whole new chapter is starting, and that includes being a parent. And so I just want my daughter to know that she doesn't have to stop pursuing her career, whatever that may be, just because she becomes a parent in the future. So I have some tips that are working for me. I'm not an expert at all, except for the fact that this is my life, and so I probably am an expert on my own life, but I might decide that these things aren't working anymore in a week, a month, a year, 2 years, but for right now, this is what's working for me and my family, so I thought I would share with you. So number one tip for balancing being a mom and a musician, and this stuff could really apply to anyone who's a freelancer working from home and their artistic endeavors. So number one, patience. And patience is super important because your mind is consumed. I know from the time that I found out I was pregnant, I was reading the baby books. I was thinking about how I wanted to parent, not knowing anything about how that was going to actually go. And now my baby is being entertained slightly in the crib. I'm watching her on the baby monitor. So anyway, my mind is slightly consumed, as I'm saying, so patience for me. And you know, so one of the things that's really important that you need patience with is your partner also. You need to remember to connect with your partner. You need to be patient with everyone's just in a huge learning curve, and also to be patient with your child. You might be getting to like just that great spark of inspiration, and then your baby they need you right then, and you have to drop everything to attend to their needs, and then your creative thought just flies away and you didn't even get a chance to put it in your trusty notes in your phone. And you just have to forgive yourself, forgive your kid. They're not trying to manipulate you into hanging out. They just need you because they're in a needy phase of their life, and so are you. So just be patient all around. Number two, slow. Just ease in slowly if you can. I was really fortunate to be able to save up money and take off 3 months of a maternity leave. I know that a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and I feel very, very fortunate that I was. If I had an office job and I had to go back after 2 weeks, then there's no easing in slowly. So whatever you can do to ease in slowly, for me that looked like I took a maternity leave. I told the venues that I was playing at that I wasn't going to be able to play until such and such date, and I made sure that I had at least one date booked with each of those places so that they didn't just forget about me and I had to start all over from scratch finding venues when I came back, and that was super important. But I had gone from taking like 15 gigs a month to I started out only taking I think 4 in my first month back, because not only is it super hard to go back to work after you've been spending this tiny precious amount of time with your newborn, but they also have gotten used to you being with them all the time. So just easing in slowly if you can. I remember it's been really hard to go back to writing. It's been much easier to go back to my cover gigs because I already know those songs. I know how to set up my gear. I know how to play guitar. I know how to sing, and I know the songs already. But to get in that creative mindset to write new songs, that's been much more of a challenge for me. I have gone to a co-writing session when Brooklyn was a newborn, and I just was like, hey guys, I'm gonna be breastfeeding during this. Don't mind us. And they were very cool, and it went great somehow. But yeah, just ease in slowly if you can. Number 3, picky. Be picky. And for me, that looks like I don't take late gigs anymore. I used to take whatever gig I felt like taking. But now my baby still at 1 won't go to sleep without me. If she does, it's kind of traumatic for everyone involved. But I just can't take the really late gigs anymore. We do have a later schedule in our family because my husband, his name is Justin Lehman. He's great. He and I are both musicians, so we all get up later and go to bed later than some families do. And until Brooklyn's in school, then that's just going to be fine for our family. She's super happy and healthy. But we have a later schedule. But still, we like to be involved in the community and with other kids, so we can't have our schedule be skewed too much. So I just don't take those late gigs. And that's one of the biggest things for me that has been, I've had to be picky about. Number 4, different. Things are going to look so different than your pre-child life. One of the main things for me that has been really different, well, besides everything, is breastfeeding at gigs. Yes, I have kind of breastfed at gigs, but so 4-hour gigs are sometimes a necessity because people usually book for cover gigs 3 or 4-hour gigs. But when you have a 3-month-old, when I went back to work at 3 months, she was breastfeeding around the clock, and so I would be feeding her as soon as I left the house, pumping in the car, and feeding her as soon as I got back. And even sometimes my mom would come meet me to pick up Brooklyn to babysit her, and I would set up my PA system, go feed her in the car really quick, and then my mom would take her home with her, and then I would do at my gig, and then still have to pump in the car because I didn't want my milk supply to decrease. So it's just really, it's going to be different. And you know, it's really ideal for you to be able to chat with the audience members before and after the gig and on your breaks, or connect with the bartenders or the owners and just socialize. It's part of the job, but for a few months I wasn't really able to do that part of it. I had to go back to the easing in slowly. I was able to be the entertainer, but I wasn't able to hang out with people because I had to go pump in the car. So, and I would put up my sun visor in the window so hopefully no one could see me. It's just a necessity, so necessity. Number 5, schedule. And this isn't just scheduling your gigs earlier. This is like scheduling time to learn new songs, scheduling time to write, scheduling time to just free your mind for a minute. So this might be like, hey partner, can you please give me 15 minutes so I can go over the song a couple times, learn the guitar part, or whatever you need to do. And you might be a writer, a painter, or whatever it is you are. You might only get 10 minutes at a time at the beginning, and you might only get 5 minutes at a time. But slowly through that first year and beyond, hopefully you'll be able to get some time to yourself to learn the new stuff you need to do, or write, or whatever it is that you need to do for your creative activities. Just really important. And this is self-care, really, because it's self-care has like this silly bubble baths and facials reputation, but it's self-care to take yourself seriously and to create space for yourself. And that leads us to number 6, which is serious. that is taking yourself seriously and taking your career seriously. I never stopped saying I'm a musician, I'm a singer. I knew that I had to continue. I had to tell myself this is when I'm going back to work. And even though it was so hard, I cried the first time I had to go back to a gig. I did not want to leave Brooklyn at home. But I knew how fortunate I was to have that 3 months. And like, people sometimes have a week. If people are working at certain jobs, shift jobs, restaurant jobs, office jobs, they don't get any maternity leave. And I was able to have 3 months. And so I knew that I had to push myself to do that. So yeah, I felt like taking the time to just create space for myself and taking myself seriously, because if you don't take yourself seriously, nobody else is going to. And if you do, just tell everyone, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing when I get back from maternity leave. It's not just like, oh, that artist might sing when she wants to. This is her job, and this is the way she makes money for her family. And some people, they have to worry about childcare being too expensive for them to go back to work, or maybe their partner makes plenty of money for everyone and they don't have to worry about that. But for me, this isn't just my passion, this is also my career that helps pay the bills for our family. So there's that as well. But I wouldn't be able to do that without number 7, which is support system. Fortunately, we have our families in town, and my parents babysit a ton for us, and Justin's mom helps us out with babysitting some too. So that support system is amazing. Justin and I are a huge support for each other, and because we're both musicians, we can understand where each other's coming from. And there are definitely some challenges with having 2 artists in the family as well, but to support each other and know where we're coming from, that's really helpful. But you might also pay for your support system, and that is totally legit too. And that might be paying for childcare, paying for grocery delivery, or paying for a housekeeper. And all these things just make your life easier so that you are able to continue to do what's important to you. I've had so many conversations with people who haven't been able to continue their career, but it's never too late. You can always take these steps a little at a time, and it doesn't matter if it's been 5 years, 10 years. Just say, hey, I was on a hiatus and now I'm back, and I am this artist and I do this thing, and it might just be 10 minutes at a time, but you can do it. I believe in you just like I believe in myself. So anyway, this is what's working for me for right now, and like I said, it might all change, but I thought I would share, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear what works for you and what else you would like to talk about. So